we only have time for one or two more teams here. Let's go to Cleveland and talk about those Cleveland Cavaliers. Really added nothing in free agency, so that's fun for Cleveland. In the draft, they drafted
John Beilein.
That's true. That's true. NBA coaching free agency. They do bring John Beilein over from Michigan. I apologize to the Cavaliers. Really, really, really interesting first round of the draft. Beilein obviously emphasized shooting, bringing in Darius Garland, my guy Dylan Windler, and Kevin Porter Jr. a great gamble at 30. They lose Nawaba Campaign and J.R. Smith, so nothing there. What are we? This is allegedly Lillard McCollum East. How well do you think the Garland Sexton backcourt's going to work out?
Not as well as that one, I'll say that. But I'm really interested. Darius Garland is one of the guys that, like, no one has any real feel for what he's going to be, and
Right.
I mean, I'm fascinated to see how he ends up looking, and I mean, I think that he's going to end up being better than Sexton. So, and I don't know if that's a super high bar, very up and down rookie campaign for Colin Sexton, but I'm just really interested to see how John Beilein's style translates and how Darius Garland specifically fits into that style, because I think that what they did this offseason was just say, like, all right, we're going to just try to collect shooters, as you said, in the draft, and then let's just punt on free agency and see what works and what Beilein needs after this year, which I think is a smart thing. Like, if you're going to hand the reins over to a unique coaching hire like Beilein, I think that you've got to kind of give him a year to get a feel for how his style is going to work against this league.
What do you do in terms of naming positions? Is Sexton year one or is he year two?
I mean, I think Garland has to be your one, even though he's the better shooter, but just because of the size and, and I think they're both fine off the ball players, but my guess is, having not watched much of Garland, that he'll be probably the better ball handler, but the ball will be in, Sexton's hands more, if that makes sense.
It's weird to say that the Sexton's fine off the ball. Obviously shot, and you're not wrong, I'm just saying it's weird. He shot 40.2% from three last year. I would have guessed he would have shot in closer to like 33% from three his rookie season.
Agreed.
Only took 3.6
That's why I say up and down.
Right. Only took 3.6 attempts. I think that number's probably going to dip a little bit. I would be surprised if it didn't dip to like 38, but he took more attempts.
Yes, agreed.
They're going to have... I'll tell you what. I know Sexton is a tough physical player in the backcourt, but they are going to have some issues with guarding opposing backcourts. I mean, you're talking about basically two smaller point guards to cross match defensively.
For sure. And I think Beilein goes in knowing that's exactly what's going to happen. Obviously, Garland's going to be ramped up slowly, but I think that, you can't go in and draft Garland where they did at 6 and not think that, they're going to have those issues. But I think beyond that, like, Garland is, he's going to get pushed around. So while I think Sexton can be a bulldog defensively at times, the size thing is going to be a factor for both, but Garland's just going to be a massive liability there. So it's going to be interesting to see how Beilein, a guy who had great efficient defenses at Michigan, is going to try to translate that over to the NBA. Because I mean, you can get away with Darius Garland in college, you can't hide him in the NBA.
Do you try to play a little bit of zone? I mean, how do you do this?
Yeah. I think you have to. And I mean, especially when you have a rebounder like Love down low, I mean, it's going to be, this team is going to be very interesting, but you can foresee problems with their lineup for sure.
I think we're going to see a lot of Osman or Nance at the 4 with Love at the 5, because
you have to.
Yeah, I mean, a John Beilein offense can't have Tristan Thompson at the 5 or Annie Zizic.
No.
It's just not going to work.
They're going to have to. He's going to have to do something with those guys, because they're, those two are obviously a huge piece. And Nance is another guy that I think is interesting as like their 5 when Love's not playing, or even when he is maybe. But no one knows what this is going to look like, because he's obviously been in college his whole career, so it's really difficult to know how that's going to translate. But I think that some zone is definitely in the cards, and I think that part of it is going to be who they're playing on any given night. And Beilein has proven to be that good of a coach at the college level that I'd expect that to come through in the NBA as well.
Well, Cleveland is a team that could desperately use a number 1 pick and a guy like James Wiseman next year. but
Oh
we
man,
we will
yeah.
see how all of that plays out.